watching AYV Television.
Hello and welcome to Primetime News on AYV Television 33, Channel 33 and Radio FM 101.6. This is your home of credible, factual and balanced news. I am Thomas Suma. Let's take the headlines for tonight.
Mohamed Bangura awarded as the best member of parliament.
Will award you this and make you within one of the best member of parliaments too.
The civil society movement Sierra Leone organizes dialogue session on the popularization of the Public Financial Management Act of 2016.
Our goal is to popularize the PFM Act 2016.
And Minister of Technical and Higher Education launches £4 million project.
Of the government of Sierra Leone to officially launch the Strategic Partnership for Higher Education, Innovation and Research, or SPARE.
Now for the full news with Tholoma Suma.
Don't forget, forms are still out for the Big Brother Housemate Salon 2019. Visit any AYV or AfriCell offices across the country to secure a copy or get more information. Now, first in our news, the Sierra Leone's Dream Foundation has awarded Mohamed Bangura as the best member of parliament. Mohamed is being described as the most controversial politician in Sierra Leone. The reason for his recognition, according to the foundation, is because he has been very vocal and active on issues dealing with young people across the country.
Will award you this and make you within one of the best member of parliaments to you, to everybody. Lots of members of parliament and they, but now you now we best honorable member of parliament winner. We would like for me Vice can present this thing because now indeed today.
Well, I appreciate this a lot, and I commend the work that they do. And as young people, these are the kind of things we do for make the country go before. Instead of sit down on the wait for the people that can push me. And with this certificate, I guess so, I make sure I will use them for continue to promote the cause of young people wherever I find myself. I will continue to advocate for them. I will continue to be their voice, even though within our opposition now. That will not stop me for the talk for young people. I appreciate that, and I wish them the best of luck, and I will continue the work so that Sierra Leone will go before. Thank you.
The civil society movement Sierra Leone has organized a dialogue session on the popularization of the Public Financial Management Act of 2016 for the increase of domestic revenue mobilization. The purpose of this project is to promote accountability, reduce corruption, and improve the economy of the state. This dialogue session is a pilot project that will target the Western District. David Turner has more.
The Public Financial Management Act of 2016 is responsible to regulate financial management of the public sector within a microeconomic and fiscal framework, to define responsibilities of persons entrusted with management and control of public funds, assets, and resources. The National Coordinator of Civil Society Movement, Juliet Anderson, explains what the project will underscore.
Overall goal is to popularize the PFM Act 2016, its relevance, and the need for MDA's acceptance and support the operation of the Treasury Single Account.
Mr. Tamba Momo is the Deputy Auditor General of the Audit Service Sierra Leone. He explains the effectiveness of the Single Treasury Account since its inception by President Bio in 2018.
So by the time you know, there was some time ago when we went to the Ministry of Health to do an audit, they had 88 bank accounts, 88. That's Ministry of Health. Some of these bank accounts, according to the Act, the bank accounts cannot be opened without the Accountant General's permission. Some of the bank accounts have to be open. The Accountant General, they have not shown record in some instances that these accounts, before they opened them, the accountant general was involved or gave permission for them to go ahead. As the parliamentarians would say, SO2, the government and the fly with your own oil. When the parliamentarians they want to create a parliament, and therefore ask permission to SO2. Stand in order.
The popularization project of the PFM Act will last for 3 months, and the national coordinator has called on all civil society bodies, the media, and the government institutions to help generate and judiciously use these monies for the people of Sierra Leone. David Turner, AYV News, Freetown.
The Minister of Technical and Higher Education, Professor Ayv'S, has officially launched a £4 million project titled Assuring Quality in Higher Education in Sierra Leone. The project is part of UK aid-supported Strategic Partners for Higher Innovation and Reform program. The project is aimed at delivering systematic and sustainable change within higher education systems to enable them to be able to meet graduate and labor market needs and support inclusive development and economic growth. Memuna Tubangwa has more.
This project will provide graduates with the skill they need to succeed. The Minister of Technical and Higher Education, Professor Ayv'S, said this project will prepare graduates for the 21st century.
On behalf of the government of Sierra Leone to officially launch the Strategic Partnership for Higher Education, Innovation and Research, or SPARE, that will be doing assuring quality in higher education in Sierra Leone. The ministry and I guess everybody in this country, we really love to have all qualified high school graduates to enter our higher education institutions. But the reality is it cannot happen because there are very few of them and we have a larger number of people that comes in. Whether they are qualified or not, that's a whole different matter.
The country director for British Council, Tony Riley, said graduate employability is a challenge everywhere, and the project is aimed at tackling such challenge.
This project that we're launching today in Sierra Leone, accessing quality in higher education in Sierra Leone, is one of the most ambitious of the 9 approved SPHERE projects, and it has some really unique characteristics. And one of the objectives we really wanted to achieve was to have programs with significant investment. This is a £4 million investment that genuinely set out to transform the entire higher education system in a particular country. We weren't sure when we put out the call whether we would have any projects that embraced that ambition, but we did get one, and that one came from Sierra Leone.
In the past, Sierra Leone's higher education system has been held back due to funding, limited staff, and training opportunities that has prevented universities aligning course content with the needs of the job market. Memuna Tubangura, AYV News, Freetown.
Ministers Prayer Network, together with Intercessors for Sierra Leone, in collaboration with the Body of Christ in Freetown, has embarked on a 3-day revival quick summit with the theme, "O Lord, tear the heavens and come down." According to the National Secretary, Reverend Hector Randall, the program is geared towards enlightening Christians, especially those in positions of power, to understand that they should serve in the interest of God as against their self-interest. He spoke more to AYV.
The purpose of this occasion is tied to the fact that we have been having a lot of prophetic intuition of the fact that God wants to do something in our nation, Sierra Leone, and the church needs to be brought to terms with what God is about to do. And this is in consent with what happened about 100 years ago in a place in US called the Azusa Street Revival. And God has been sending several men of God from different places in the world to come and tell Sierra Leone that Sierra Leone, it is your time to receive the mantle of revival for the nations of the world. We believe from this program, God is going to raise catalysts of revival. What is revival? Revival is about an awakening of God's Spirit for people to take responsibility in their different domains of life. So we are not only talking about a revival for church and religious bodies and movements, but we are talking a revival that will spill into the economy. So Christians that are working in that domain, we know they have a divine responsibility. We are talking about a revival that will spill into the governance. So those that are there are not only there for their political bearings, but they are going to bring the light of God. So we are talking about an outpouring of God's Spirit that will affect every strata of society, the media, economy, culture and entertainment, family and governance. What we are looking at, we are talking about relevance. We have Christians that have top positions. We have Christians that are highly educated. But are they serving in their offices their God-given destiny and responsibility? Let's take, for example, in the book of Esther, there was a queen who was called Hadassah before she came to the throne, and she was named Esther. She was the wife of the king who covered 127 provinces from Asia to Africa. But an issue came up and they were about to destroy and wipe out the Jews. She could have been preserved, it would not have affected her, but she had of the information and she took responsibility to avert that danger upon her people.
The National Coordinator of Budget Advocacy Network, Abubakar Kamara, has said they are impressed with the improvements made by the National Revenue Authority in revenue collection, as for the very first time ever in the history of Sierra Leone, the authority has hit over 400 billion loans. Kamara, however, said that the authority needs to double this trend by 2023 if the 20% of domestic revenue to GDP is to be achieved. He was speaking at a press conference that was held at the Action Aid Head Office in Freetown. He spoke more to AYV.
We are here today to publish our second edition of Sierra Leone domestic revenue collection. In the new direction manifesto, it stated that they will increase domestic revenue collection from 10% to 20%. And we also saw in the state opening of Parliament, the President make commitments to also increase domestic revenue. So we saw it as a policy statement which is worth following up as citizens and as CSO. Because we believe that if government is to provide adequate and available social services, then first of all need to generate the required resources. So our own point is to hold government accountable to ensure that those resources are generated so that services can be provided. Quite impressive. I mean, we saw from March to September, close to 100 billion additional revenue has been generated. So this tells us that we have the capacity, provided the support and the political will is there to hit the 20% of domestic revenue to GDP. This also tells us that we have the ability to finance our own social services. It also tells us that when we generate our own resources, then we will have the liberty to design programs and implement them for the benefit of Israelis. But for now, this 400 billion hit in September is very impressive, but it still has a long way to go. Because when we look at the nominal GDP for 2021, as stated in 2019 budget, by 2021, government needs to collect 832 billion on a monthly basis upwards to hit the 20% domestic GDP by 2023.
It is globally accepted that quality education is one of the key drivers to the development of any nation. However, the Gambia District Council Primary School in Funde community in the Bile Dixon Chiefdom, which is expected to be able to provide basic quality education to children in the community, lacks teaching and learning materials, which has greatly affected the running of the school.
Fungde community is about 4 kilometers away from the district headquarters town of Gambia, bordering with the neighboring Guinea. The school, which has 400 pupils according to the school management committee chairman Kelfara Sise, lacks sitting accommodation for the pupils, with 5 out of 8 of the teachers still unapproved by the government.
As you can see, our challenges, the lack of benches and desks, then the teachers are not enough in the school, no teaching and learning materials, and pump water facility is not available in the school. We are just managing those things, and the immediate transfer head teacher of the school, so except I have to manage up by giving a small token when I get some money from the government.
Speaking to AYV television, the head teacher, Woody Kamara, said the unavailability of sitting accommodation, teaching and learning materials, as well as the long delay in approval of their teachers is a very critical challenge that the school is grappling with.
We are suffering here. We have over 400 pupils in this school. No sitting accommodation for them. During the rain, school leaks plenty. We are also worried. Among the 8 teachers we have here, 5 are not on payroll.
With such challenges, it is obvious that pupils of Fungde Primary School in Gambia district may not benefit from the government's free quality education if the Ministry of Education does not intervene to salvage the situation. Jibril Goto, AYV News, Gambia district.
Commercial motorbikes are forbidden from plying the streets of Bo City after 12 o'clock midnight. This law was instituted by the police and district authorities to halt armed robbery, which gradually took over the district of late. After achieving the intended purpose, night traders are now calling for its cancellation to regain their customers. George Philip Jambawai has more on the story.
Shortly after the presidential elections in 2018, Bo City, according to many people, was like a war zone where people had no property rights. Thieves invaded many homes, stole properties, raped women, and gave severe beating to people, including traditional authorities. This was what led to the introduction of the After 12 law, which prohibits commercial bikes from plying the streets. The law seems to be effective, but the night business communities are now calling for its cancellation to regain their customers.
No, they get sell. So if the market's done, we see them past 12 o'clock, we may get bike again from. Past Saturday night, say don't clean 5 o'clock before they go down. We they beg for more security for them.
Anyway, they sell in the morning we go they buy drinks, they stay inside the Puma, when they buy ice block, when they put up and down, when they pay transport and counter after all not sell down. For if you get bike, we know they forget bike. And they say they 4 o'clock in the morning. When they don't make the law is fine for we. And the thief business is not less. I go on now, make the law, make it stop so now. Make the observe by how it go there.
When I wake up from the provincial security, go on the process, higher the issue of making, but then simply to because many times when the public they cry, now they get for the crowd. You see, if you read the interview me, at the end of most time media officials they come. Say police, the night offense don't on the increase. But what we don't see now is this it don't reduce drastically. So you see, so we give an indefinite time. When we say the need arise, we lift the ban.
Apply this law that it is working every side on the normalize. I think we get for go with them. There's a law in this country where people then they charge people then to court for lottery. So why we not for enforce the law? It's a law. So we get for enforce them.
George Philip Jambawai, AYV, Bo.
And now in business, Guarantee Trust Bank has donated school learning materials to the St. Anthony Boys and Girls Schools, the Aberdeen Municipal School, St. John Primary School, and the DT Akirobet Primary School in Freetown. Addressing the pupils, the managing director for the Guarantee Trust Bank, Ade Adeibi, said the bank has budgeted over 200 million loans to support the country in different sectors come next year. He added that they believe that as a bank, they should support the free and quality education in the country.
On August 20, 2018, the President launched the free quality education. Since then, several institutions have been helping to promote children with different school items to ensure that children have better learning space. The Managing Director for the Guarantee Trust Bank, Ade Bini, called on the teachers to monitor the kids to use the books the right way so that they can achieve at the end of every term.
As a good corporate citizen, there should be a way that we as an organization give back to the society. we believe education is important to the society because education provided to children gives them an opportunity to survive in the future. Not only that, education is the bedrock of development of any country. And I mean, we all know the free education policy of His Excellency Julius Maada Bio, and we believe in the organization is a laudable one. And we, as a corporate organization, will try to see how we can identify and also support.
We also say thank you for donating this for such a wonderful donation paid to the school. I want to ensure you that we will make good use of the items and the greatest care we will be taking to maintain them.
Some kids and teachers appreciate the laudable move by the bank to choose their school to benefit from the items and promise to use them the right way. Education is like a garden.
A time when I even wrote the letter. To heaven. Today, I'm happy that
on the face of this school, I want to take this opportunity to thank the management and staff of the Guarantee Trust Bank for choosing to provide the pupils of Aberdeen Primary School with exercise book.
Various numbers across schools. So we are going to donate in 5 primary schools in Freetown. Tomorrow I'll be off to Bo, and we are going to donate in some schools in Bo. The day after tomorrow, we are also going to go to Kenema and Makeni, because we believe that these books should not be restricted only to Freetown. You know, the urban areas, we realize that there are also some needs and requirements outside Freetown. That's why we have chosen the 3 main provinces outside Freetown, which is Bo, Makeni, and...
If you cannot cultivate, it can never be harvested. Silasheko Mohammed, AYV News, Freetown.
This is Primetime News on AYV Television, Channel 33 and Radio FM 101.6. Stay with us, we'll bring you news from the provinces and the continent after this break.
Not now. I promised to top up EDSA today.
Stop complaining and use your AfriCell line to buy us EDSA.
My AfriCell line? AfriCell?
Oh yes! With your AfriCell line. To buy EDSA, simply dial *161# to access your AfriCell money account and choose bill payment. Then select EDSA recharge. Enter your meter number, enter the amount you want to pay, and then enter your AfriCell money PIN to confirm your transaction.
But how can I refill my AfriCell money account?
You can top up your AfriCell money account with no extra charges from any AfriCell outlet near you, or simply at any shop or bank where you see a sign that says AfriCell money available here. Buy EDSA now straight from your AfriCell money account at the cheapest cost ever. A price nobody dares to match.
AfriCell, Norway Network.
Welcome back. This is Primetime News on AYV. I am Dolomo Suma. Let's join our team in Makeni for some news in the provinces.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to have us. Hello and welcome to Primetime News that brings you happenings from this part of the country, and I'm a presenter, Ayv'S Sise. The Makeni City Council has convened a budget hearing. The purpose for such meeting was to discuss and approve the 2019 council budget. Among the participants included councillors, ward committee members, civil society, and members of the public. Daniel Pukumu is the chief administrator at Makeni City Council, and he pointed out the significance of this engagement in this interview.
we decided as a council to have this annual work plan to be presented for approval, because it can only be valued when it's being approved by council. And that's why we have this ordinary council meeting today for the approval of the budget. Normally, for council to operate, you need to have a budget. And whatever year without a budget, a council cannot run. So that's the reason why this particular ordinary council meeting today is very, very most significant, because they are coming in to approve a budget that will be used for 2019. We have the business licenses, we have property rates. Those are the home source revenue generation. And out of those revenue generations, we're able to pay our support staff, and out of the same revenue generations, we're able to have tangibles, developmental activities within the municipality. So these are some of the things that we do with our home source revenue generation. We are able to look at certain developmental aspects out of the same home source revenue by providing, renovating certain market areas, the toilets within the same municipality. And then, of course, the day-to-day running of the council, which is very, very more key. We are also able to provide vehicles out of the same home source revenue generation to be looking at our revenue, because we have staff that are going out and they don't have vehicle to use before this time. So it was a problem. Now they have a whole open van that they will go with group to do the collections and to also issue out demand notices and other things.
Training on transparency and accountability on the management of school fees subsidies has been organized by Transparency International Sierra Leone. The training, which was held in Maduaka, Tonkoli district, was attended by school authorities and other relevant authorities in the education sector. Edward Kamara is the programs manager at Transparency International Sierra Leone, and he speaks more about this training.
And the focus of this is to ensure, that the school authorities use school fee subsidies in a transparent and accountable manner, because we all know that the education policy in Sierra Leone makes provision for free primary education. And now that we have the free education program by the new government, there's free education from primary to secondary school. And over the years, the government has been sending school fee subsidies to primary schools, to ensure that they are able to provide for the running of the schools. But over the years, from the engagements that we've been having in our monitoring activities, we've discovered that these school fee subsidies had not been used judiciously by the school authorities. So this particular engagement is to ensure that the primary school heads and the school management committee members, use school fee subsidies against the transparency and accountability principles. And also we have the civil society activists and the media practitioner and community people, on the other hand, to also enhance their capacity to engage the school authorities and the SMC members to ensure, that they all perform their roles effectively. Like the SMCs, they're supposed to perform oversight functions to ensure that the schools are run effectively. Now, after this particular training today, it's not only going to stop there. What we're going to do at some point during the training, we'll break into group work, and then the school authorities and the others will sit and then they discuss, after having all the knowledge about transparency, accountability from the training, public financial management. So they now, as school heads and the SMCs will sit and say, when we go back, we'll do X, Y, and Z to ensure transparency and accountability in the use of school fee subsidies. And all what they will present, we'll take and then we'll catalog and put into what we call transparency and accountability pledge.
I've got a wealth of experience because in handling public funds, at least you know how to use them judiciously. At the end of the day, we have so many things that come up in which, at least as a public holder of public funds, you have to use them according to the will of the people. And at the end of the day, you may be accountable to the public themselves. But at least if you are not holding public funds as how people are expecting it to be, at the end of the day, you will find one thing. So in the light of that, that is why as an SMC chair, I've learned a lot as far as holding public funds are concerned.
Well, viewers and listeners, it has been a pleasure watching us from our regional studios here in Makeni. And I've been your presenter, Ayv'S Cissé. On behalf of our team here in the north, let us now join our main studios in Freetown.
Thanks to Ayv'S Cissé and the entire team in Makeni for those updates. Let's take some stories from across the continent. Let's start with the Gambia. The Gambian government has paid out 100,000 United States dollars in compensation to the family of journalist Chief Ibrahima Mane, who has been missing since his detention by the former regime of Yahya Jammeh in 2006, a local journalist has tweeted.
Mr. Jammeh's regime had refused to implement a 2008 order of a court run by the Economic Community of West African States to pay compensation to Mane's family. He was among the journalists who had become a symbol of the brutal repression the media faced during Mr. Jammeh's 22-year rule, which ended with the opposition leader Adama Barrow taking office in January 2017. It is widely assumed that Mane is dead, but Mr. Jammeh's regime denied he had been detained.
About 200 stalls have been destroyed by a huge fire which ripped through a market in Cameroon's main English-speaking city, Bamenda.
The cause of the fire at the food market is unclear. The government blamed a fire at the market last year on separatists demanding independence for Cameroon's English-speaking regions. The separatists say English-speaking Cameroonians face discrimination and are fed up of being part of a country ruled for more than 35 years by French-speaking President Paul Biya. The government accuses the separatists of being terrorists, threatening the Central African states' unity.
Nigeria's militant Islamist group Boko Haram has started to use drones, the army has said, in a clear sign that the jihadists have become increasingly sophisticated to garner intelligence on the movements of troops.
In a statement, the army said it had noticed daring moves by the militants, including the increased use of drones against our defensive positions and the swelling of its ranks by foreign fighters. These potent threats require us to continually review our operations, the statement added. This is the first time the military has confirmed reports which surfaced last year that Boko Haram has strengthened its capabilities by acquiring drones.
Now in sports, the African Young Voices Media Empire has defeated the Sierra Leone Broadcasting Corporation in a gala building up to the SLBC Carnival. The match ended 1-0 in favor of AYV, which means that AYV are into the finals, which is scheduled for tomorrow, the 30th of November, between Radio Democracy 98.1 at the SLFA Football Academy ground.
It's a tough contest, we cannot lie, but we always knew we were going to win. From the way we prepared ahead of this game, in terms of the discipline, we showed a lot of resolve across the midfield. When we started, of course, we were struggling. First 5-10 minutes, so the guys had to adjust to the different positions. But the moment we settled in properly, then we knew we were always on top of the situation. And this victory was important because it was not about just how we went up front in terms of goal scoring, but the discipline at the back line was very, very important as well for us. Knowing that we did not score from a set piece or penalty, we scored a very, very clear goal, and that's very important for us. So we don't want to talk about the mistakes of other teams. We are just going to focus on our game so far today and what we can do going forward to make this team better. So because I'm very optimistic, what we've seen today is a display of what we can achieve. Ahead of tomorrow's final, we are going back to the drawing board and assess what went right for us and analyze as well what went wrong for us and what we can improve on ahead of the Radio Democracy clash tomorrow.
Well, all I can say is that lucky side actually won. You know, it doesn't mean that they were the better side. You saw in the first half of play, we had a penalty, we didn't score. So
Yes, the AYV, they won the match by a goal to 0. But all I can say here is that the luck was on their own side. We were not lucky enough, but we had the better side. All I can say is that the lucky side won. But let us, we have to be courageous. We have to be courageous because the thing is, it is football. Football, there are 3 things involved. Either you win, you are defeated, or a draw. So that is the spirit.
The National Paralympics Committee in Sierra Leone has held an introductory powerlifting coaching course at the Atlantic Hall in Freetown. Our sports reporter Mohamed Abu Conte witnesses the training now reports.
Speaking during the training course, the Secretary for the National Para Committee in Sierra Leone, Alexandra Tola, said the training is to empower the required knowledge about powerlifting and also to prepare the athletes ahead of future competitions.
Well, for the past years, we don't discover, say, coaches and they do some training with disabled athletes, especially those who are interested in powerlifting. So we discover, say, we need for give them the knowledge, they're able to understand, say, it's not the same like how the able people, they do their own, not to the same way the disabled, they do their own. So like we want to do this because we want to guide them, so we go to get the athletes properly trained, and then we go for represent we. But if they not get it, if the coaches are not to understand, then we just do them the way we them feel say right. And that not go help for the development of the sport. I try to invite up to 15 participants because it's just about coaches. This is not about the athletes, but we try to get the coaches. We then go come now and go try to identify athletes and who then feel say then go for training. But it's now 15 participants that we call for. Just for Freetown, if you notice from the participants that we get inside, you will find out say we get people that we come from the north, the eastern part of the country, the western area. So these are just for tell you, say we try for diversify, try for get everybody involved, and then that will help we able to get things done the right way. But honestly, if we been just doing for Freetown, it will be a disadvantage to the one that we the upline. And interestingly, the first power lifter who don't get in this country will represent we now from the provinces, we now from the eastern part of the country. So it's a blessing in disguise now getting the coaches for do a proper training, because even the athletes who been taken out to Algeria the last time, they go there on a day now, they go learn how for even handle the weights. But now I think say this will help we now for don't get the athletes ready before any competition. But at the end of this particular training, I feel say Sierra Leone will be proud that we don't get money now, we get knowledge of powerlifting, because that's the main focus of this training. And in the future, we hope for convince the international body now for able for give funding. We go do the different levels of coaching. But what we do now, that make, if you look at the caption there, it's introduction. We just want to introduce them, let them know, even though they provide materials, but that's not going to be one way we will say, yes, you don't get high-level coaching, no, not to that at all, but we introduce the coaches them to this, and then it will help them in the future for handling this sport.
15 participants benefit from the training as it is just an introductory part to powerlifting. Ayv'S Sports, Mohamed Abu Conte reporting in Freetown.
Sierra Leonean professional golfer Paul Kagbo has ended the saloon slump with a win at the Gulf Open as he emerged winner in Freetown. Kagbo went home with $10,000 United States dollars, while the runners-up, John A. Kagbo of Sierra Leone, received $5,000 United States dollars as prize money. Both Paul Kagbo and John A. Kagbo expressed their opinion to Ayv'S Sport after receiving their trophies.
I feel happy, I'm glad. I not going to tell you no more how I'm glad, but I'm happy because from 1993, we Sierra Leone win this cup. Past we can win and say again. So that make us really, really happy. But this one mean good thing for the country because now 8 countries now take part in this tournament. So for less Sierra Leone will come out, mean that 8 countries there win. A good thing for Sierra Leone. I think say like me, so what I do more, what I feel say make her win this trophy now more of training. I train hard. 2 months complete, I don't get one blow. I train every day for life for able to get this trophy like I get answer. Golf, people can say na old par game. But me, I can tell anybody say golf for let work out first that 18 hole first, not to easy thing. not an old man game. The only thing you go play until you old. So now many people like take and say an old man game. But I mean, now young man and they start for player. And like me start for player at the age of 13 up to now I play am. So I mean, golf now like that, not like a football. Maybe when you reach the age of 40, you don't tire for play. But golf now you go play until you 85, you dey play golf. So now many people like they take and say an old man game. Well, actually, like the Equatorial, the Ghanaians, the Ivorians, the Nigerians, all of them, I mean, them can always feel say they can just they can't take the cup and go easy one. But this time, I didn't mingle them, and I really focus and make sure say I not think about them, see them big name there, and this one and this come up from here. I don't look at that. I just make sure say I concentrate and play me golf. What I know say I for play, I play my commodity.
As an individual, then I feel happy also as from a country, Sierra Leone. So, well, this means great to the other golfers then. It's all about practice and determination. I started golf 2010. Then 2011, I started to watch how they make this Open Championship when a Ghanaian win and go and go inside. Me have been #1 fan of him. Yes, I've been like the way they play, so I begin copy some of his style. Then make come back 2016, where I end up for Cardiff for the world winner Vincent Toga. Say as I be the Cardiff for, and then I take some of his style. Even 2017, then do am back. I also Cardiff for. But I can always tell and say, time get for can we all two get for battle for the same purse. Well, the message to Sierra Leoneans then, we ask them for let them come into this game. Because golf na game is it where you come into it, you go know much about them. But if you not come into it, you know easy. That not the easy we make, but people are not like the game. But when you come into it, you play, you go know the use of the game, the importance.
This is where we end Primetime News tonight. Keep sending us your thoughts via email to info@ayvnews.com. You can also connect with us online at www.ayvnews.com or download the AYV mobile app from your app store. Don't forget, forms are still out for the Big Brother Housemates Salon 2019. Visit any AYV or AfriCell office across the country to secure a copy or get more information. We will be back again tomorrow with the top stories from across the country, the continent and the world. My name is Toloma Suma. Thanks for watching and listening.
You're watching AYV Television.